I'm John Scott here for Turnbuckle TV and latest podcast, and really pleased to say for the first time on my show, obviously in very odd times at the moment, like I keep saying to all my guests, but I want to welcome on WrestleGate promoter Gary Ward. How you doing, my friend?
I'm very good, John. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Enjoying the sunshine while it remains, you know.
Well, we've had a lot of it, which is unusual. I don't know if it's because, for whatever reason, the gods have said, you know, you're all locked in, let's give you some sun, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit of...
Very nice. It's been nice. I don't like the sun too much. I'm not a big sunbather, but my wife and daughter love it, so they're out. I sort of sit out with them sparingly, but I'm not a big fan personally, but I get burnt too easy.
I'm kind of the same. I love the idea that it's sunny outside, but I get very bored once I start sitting in it, and I get quite restless, and then I kind of want to be doing something indoors, and I get a little bit too hot, and so the idea is always better than the actual payoff itself for me.
I get
unfortunately.
Too bored. It's the same when you're on holiday.
Yeah.
I think before I had a child, I would sit around the pool and I'd be like, I'm so bored, and my wife, or girlfriend at the time, but now wife, she would be like, I'll go and do something, because she likes just relaxing there. And then I was like, it'd be different when I have a kid, and then it's really not. Because
you kind of think. I agree. I think you get when you're younger, you think, oh, perhaps I'll get to this age where I'll just enjoy it. I never have.
No. I mean, the last few days I've sat out kind of in the shade part of my garden on a chair reading a book. That's been pretty good, considering I really struggle reading anyway. Yeah. But it's been quite nice just to sit and read the book, but be out, but not be like sweating and finding it just awful, because it has been very, very hot.
Yeah, no, I agree. So as I mentioned before, you're a wrestling promoter and all the rest of it, and obviously in these times there's not a lot going on for anybody, whatever you do in the wrestling, obviously at this time. But have you managed to sort of keep your mind busy with other projects and other things away from wrestling, maybe, that you've been able to dive into?
Yes and no. I think when I first started on the sort of supposed lockdown, I don't really think in any way this is a lockdown, but that's another story.
Yeah.
I have, at the beginning, I was like, I'm going to do some courses. I'm going to do like little things like, I've always been into marketing, and I thought I might do marketing stuff, and you'd plan that, and then you wake up and you just feel like a bit like, and then it's like that. Yeah. I've had I've managed to go back and watch a lot of TV series that I've always sort of gone, I'm going to watch that. I'll watch that. And then the next week, I'll watch it next week. And then it just progressively goes on. And then same with wrestling, I've managed to really catch up with a lot of things that have kind of been on a backlog for me. I have probably have 3 or 4 promotions that I watch regularly. I don't miss. And then I have some other promotions, maybe 4 or 5 that are sort of build-up promotions, as in I'll build up their shows if they've got a big event coming up, and then I'll sort of binge them.
Yep.
Netflix is getting a hammer in at the moment as well, so one day I kind of just sat there and I'd just gone on a walk, so I've been trying to go out for a couple of hours, an hour at least a day on a walk, and I was listening to a podcast, and it was 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff, and he was talking about how they book their shows, or how he used to book sort of Nitro leading up to a pay-per-view, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And I was walking back, and I was thinking in my head, I could do this, and I literally created just a random promotion, like the name, the logo, and everything, and then booked a whole entire year's worth of shows.
Right.
So this is pretty cool. I enjoyed it. But it all wrote down, and then sort of sat there and I was like, yeah, but what about this type of wrestling? So I then did it again for another promotion, and it was just to keep myself busy, It's one of them, isn't it?
I get you. What's some of the stuff you've been checking out on Netflix? Have you seen? I've got to ask this. Have you seen The Last Dance? That's the last thing I've seen. I really enjoyed that.
You know, yeah. I was a big Jordan fan around that time anyway.
Oh, okay. So
we used to watch. We used to be able to watch the NBA here. I can't remember. Channel 4, Channel 5, one of the two.
Right.
Around that time period, and we used to watch it, and used to have the games and things like that. We used to enjoy Michael Jordan, but I mean, 97. I'm 12, so I don't really know the backstory to a lot of things that were going on at that time period. It's brilliant to go back and watch that, but then just completely listen and see his mentality of things, his desire to literally be the best that he can be. But if he's got a partner with him, he literally is forcing them to be better than they can be. That's got to be that's a unique skill. Like if you've got a partner or someone in your team that you believe more in them than they do in themselves, that's insane. So I've loved it. I think it's finished now, so I might rewatch it.
Yep.
Because it's so good. But I believe there's a Tom Brady one coming out as well.
Oh, really?
So
is that Netflix as well?
Yeah. So that starts.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm not sure when it starts, but they've just released a trailer for it. I can't remember what the title is, but it's pretty easy to find them.
Yeah, I kept saying to people with The Last Dance that you haven't really, like, I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but you don't really have to be to enjoy the story they're telling and the kind of documentary style, because there's so much about it. And that guy's mentality, like you said, is crazy. He's got such a fixed kind of mentality, like to win and get other people to, you know, live up to their strengths. And I loved the kind of story. Spoilers here for anybody that hasn't seen it, so please, you know, keep quiet through this bit. But the whole stuff around Dennis Rodman, I thought was really interesting, about how they almost adapted to him and him needing to escape now and then, and really having those sort of like crazy consequences. Whereas today, I guess it would be a lot different. But I love them.
I think it shows how good of a team they had, as well as a coach.
Sure.
Their coach, you know, did exactly that. He adapted himself to certain characteristics, and there's not a lot of people that actually would do that. You know, I think that.
Yeah.
I think it's Phil Jackson, his name, and he's regarded as one of the best coaches ever in the NBA. And I'm similar to you. I don't follow it. I kind of stopped when it went off of sort of normal TV back in sort of the late 90s, really. But I know it's back. It's available to watch now on Sky. So as soon as the lockdown ends there, I'm definitely planning on rewatching it. Actually, halfway through this season, went and bought an NBA game for the PlayStation.
All right, there you go.
I'm gonna get into it, and I think it was 2K20, and it was something like 70 quid. It was down to 20. I thought, that's a bargain. I'll get that. And then the next week,
that somewhere.
Then the next week it went to $2.99. So I felt right, twat. But you know, we've got it anyway.
Yeah. No. To be honest with you, although I'm not a basketball fan, I used to buy the 2K games just because they look so good, and I really got into them. But I never was watching it just because of the availability. Really, it just wasn't something that was an easy get. Which was kind of unfortunate, but I think after seeing this documentary and the games, I'm kind of like, they've definitely sold me a good advert to go back and watch it now and get back into it. So it's going to work for them, I'm sure.
I'd be really keen to see how well sort of Air Jordan, the brand, and Bulls merchandise has gone.
Yeah, that's through the roof.
I bet it's gone crazy everywhere. And, I know the NBA was due in Paris in January. I think they came in January. I think they were then due in England. I think I could be wrong. You know, it's nice that they're even trying to bring it into, you know, the European market, similar to what the NFL are doing. So
well, that's what I was going to say. Like,
it's going to increase the popularity, certainly in the UK. I mean, certainly in my mind, I'm going to definitely go out my way to try and watch it.
Yeah, I was wondering about it because obviously the NFL have got deals over here now. My particular team that I support, Tottenham, obviously signed a big deal with the NFL, and we know that they're coming in. But I was wondering if that's going to be a thing that the NBA would look to do, like sell some of the franchise games and get them over here to get people watching it. But I'm not sure if that's a thing at the moment, but I'm pretty sure
yeah.
they've done that, yeah?
Yeah, they'd been at the O2. They'd sold out the O2.
Missed it.
Last couple of years. Yeah, same. I always sort of saw him and was like, oh, I'm going to go, because one of my best friends, he always liked NBA back in the day. Again, he just stopped watching it because it wasn't accessible too much here. But
sure.
I always like, oh, I'm going to take him. And then you would just forget about it coming. It's just similar with the baseball, Major League Baseball. They did at West Ham's new ground, London. They went there, and I had every intention of going to that. And you just, because you don't follow the game, you just forget about it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if the NBA do take on a bit more of what the NFL are doing. So it's really working for the NFL. I mean, I don't know if you follow the NFL. I do a lot. So I've been to practically every game that's been at Wembley and Twickenham. So it's just insane. It's just
I've got to ask, what is, I haven't been to any of those games. What is the atmosphere like? Like, have you been to a game like where you've been to the States and watched it there as well, or just in the UK?
I was planning on. I went to the States for my 30th about 4 years ago, and me and my friend, he actually wasn't into the NFL then, and I would be on at him all the time, like, watch it. And he was like, I'll tell you what, when we're in America, because he came with us, he said, I'll give it a go. So I took him to like a shopping mall, okay, as they call it in America, and then we got him some and stuff, and he watched the games, and then he just fell in love with it as well. But we thought we were in Orlando, and the closest was Tampa Bay, and we thought, we might go to this. So we looked about going, and we had something else planned. We'd already booked some tickets at one of the parks that day, so we was like, we won't bother. But it was quite lucky, because the game kind of got halted halfway through because of a hurricane.
Oh man!
So we were like, okay, that's pretty good. But I'd love to go.
But the atmosphere, what I was going to say was the atmosphere at, like, when you've seen it in the UK. Is it like sort of where people are quite passionate on who they're cheering for, or is it just more of a, this is cool that we've got a game in front of us? Like, I'm kind of interested to know what the dynamic there would be to go into those games.
It's a bit of both, really, because say, for instance, and I'll just make, this isn't a match that's happened, I'll just make it up, but I support the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are a huge franchise. They're never going to give up one of their home games. So Jacksonville Jaguars, who are technically England's sort of adopted team, I guess, they give up 2 or 3 home games a year and fly the franchise here. So what happens is their fans back in the States are given the opportunity to come here as well and support it, and quite a few of them do. So when you're in the stadium, you may have, I don't know, 25-30% of the actual real hardcore fans there. Then you may have the English version of those fans. So because the Jags are here, a lot more people are going, well, if they're going to invest in the UK, I'm new to this, I'm going to invest my time in them. And then they come and watch it. And then the rest of it is a complete mixture of all, 32 NFL, or 31, 30. We've got 2 other teams playing, 30 NFL teams. And it's just a complete mixture of all different sides from around Europe. So I could walk down there in a Dallas Cowboys shirt, and next to me could be a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and they're big rivals. Now, nothing's going to happen between us, because it's not really that type of feel when you're there. But you wouldn't go to a Tottenham game and sit next to an Arsenal fan.
No.
And him in an Arsenal shirt. It's going to get a bit like, all right, mate, like, Yeah. So it's very, very different, but there is a great atmosphere. At the beginning, you could tell a lot of people were trying to learn the game, and as I was. But the more that they've been here, it must be 5 or 6 years now, maybe longer. The more that they've done it, the more people are understanding the rules, the regulations, the way the game's played, and things like that. And the atmosphere is great. They put on music at halftime before the show. That special things happening. They have like a tailgate, which is like a big party outside the stadium beforehand. A massive NFL shop. It's great atmosphere. It's really good.
Yeah, I enjoy that. It's almost like I go to a football game. It's pretty much about the 2 hours, but for NFL games, it's